Galamera. Good morning, and how are we today? You join me today on what can only be described as a rather grim-looking day. A lot more cloudy than what it was yesterday, although yesterday we didn't have any rain, thank God. But today's looking a little bit in the area of, who knows, we may get some rain at some point. Looking out towards Amber Lockerbie and also Kerry, it's looking pretty grim down there. There is a little bit of smoke in the air as well. People are doing their olives still. You can just probably see a little bit of smoke just blowing there above that tree. People are still doing their olives at the moment. But on the whole, it is not a very nice day at the moment in that direction. And as we look over to the other side of the house, quick hello to Julie Halloran, who's tuning in at the moment. Nice to see you, my darling. Give you a quick wave back. There we go. Again, looking over this side of the house, again, it is, looking a little bit clearer. The sun is coming through, but it doesn't look as nice, to be quite honest, as what it did yesterday. The grass is looking good, though. And looking towards the direction of Sillery, again, it's cloudy. So who knows, maybe we're going to have some not too good weather today. Although I've got to be honest, as I turn my back on the sun, I've just suddenly felt the sun coming through. So, yeah, we shall wait and see what happens at the moment. As you can see, the chickens are out of the way at the moment. I've got to say a quick hello to Ian Thompson in Birmingham. Ian, you might remember, is a friend of mine, fellow DJ. He basically got sepsis, had to go to hospital for treatment because of the sepsis. And basically what happened was he then, while he was in hospital, he then contracted coronavirus. And unfortunately, because of the sepsis, he lost his leg and had to have his leg amputated. He's on the mend. He would like to thank everybody who's been in touch with him and has said, basically, get well soon and everything. Basically thankful, one, that he is obviously alive, and two, he'd like to thank all the staff at the Heartlands Hospital in Birmingham, wards 24 and also ward 6, who've been looking after him. And he said without you guys, he probably wouldn't be with us at the moment. So at the moment, he's on the mend. The GoFundMe page has been doing well, because obviously he's, like me, a professional DJ and broadcaster. He's not been earning any money while lockdown's been going on. And obviously he's going to require more financial help, obviously, to get back to where he was before he was struck down. So once again, all the best for him. If you can give a couple of shekels for his fund, you'll find links on my Facebook page for that. But all in all, when I spoke to him yesterday, he was in good spirits, all right, considering all of that he's been through. And he also wants to say thank you to his partner and also to his little daughter as well, who've kept him going and basically been and the reason to live as well. And he just is looking forward at some point to getting out of hospital. And also thanks again to the staff yesterday. They were sending messages while I was doing my show yesterday. And again, cheers guys, you're doing a fantastic job. I was really shocked at the whole story, but I'm not going to go into that at the moment. But again, he is so grateful as well, and he obviously is one of the lucky ones as well at the moment, despite everything that's gone on, because it could be worse for him. Right, looking at the stats today, I've got a feeling things are taking a turn here. I'm going to go through the stats now, just to remind you, it's the 13th of March. It's a Saturday. It is now day 127 of the lockdown. COVID in the last 24 hours is as follows. Get me mouse to work. Come on, mouse, work. There we go. We've had 2,405 new infections across Greece. Now, that is down on yesterday, where we had 2,570. That brings a grand total of infections since the pandemic started to 217,018. We've had 14 new cases identified coming through the borders into Greece. That was up on the day before where there was 7. And you may remember that kind of stabilized for a couple of days. It was just 7, but now it's gone up to 14. Now, according to the national stats at the moment, there were 3 new cases in Macardo. There were no cases reported in Kefalonia yesterday. There were 3 cases in Corfu, and Zakynthos had shown 8 cases on the national statistics. However, until I checked the local statistics at the moment, we only had 4 positive cases yesterday on the 12th of March, and they actually, the numbers for them didn't come in until quite late. So that 8, I think, was the hangover of the day before. Anyway, we had 4 positive cases yesterday. Those figures weren't made known until 10 o'clock last night. One of them was a 17-year-old student. It says he. I think that could be a male 17-year-old student. The other was a 23-year-old woman. We then had a 54-year-old man as well, and then a 30-year-old who allegedly had taken a rapid test and obviously gone to the hospital because they'd been tested positive there. And obviously it was confirmed that, yes, the rapid test they took was they were positive. Anyway, in all of these cases, the individuals did suffer from mild symptoms, and they are to remain in home quarantine at the moment, and the tracking of their contacts has begun. So at the moment, that means Zakynthos has had 146 positive cases since the beginning of the year. And this month of March, we've had 48 cases for the month so far. Now, when it comes to deaths across Greece at the moment, the deaths are down slightly. You might remember the other day that I reported to you that Greece had 51 deaths according to the national stats, and at the moment, today's stats at the moment, it is 49 new deaths. Now, the sad thing about those deaths is that one of those deaths is somebody from here, and that was an 88-year-old woman who was being treated at the Corona Clinic of Zakynthos. She lost her battle to the virus, and she passed away yesterday. Now, the woman was infected with the coronavirus, but unfortunately, all the treatments they done for her, they didn't work. Not sure why she wasn't moved. Maybe she was too poorly to be moved, as that has happened in the past. And the hospital did the best they could. And unfortunately, the woman passed away, and she was 88 years of age. So that means that the total amount of deaths we've had here on Zakynthos now for this year, since the beginning of the year, is 2. The first one was in February. That was a 70-year-old woman. And obviously this second death now of the 88-year-old woman here. And once again, our condolences to the family for their loss at this time. And again, we'll be keeping an eye. And the total death toll now in Greece since the pandemic started is 6,986. The average age of those people, 79 years of age. 96% of those were people with underlying health issues or were over the age of 70. And once again, to put that in context, the average daily death rate in Greece for 2019 was 329 cases a day. So once again, our condolences to the family of the lady that has passed away. As for critical cases at the moment, this is the thing that is really worrying the Greek authorities at the moment. You've had up to 506 critical cases reported yesterday. Now we have 521 critical cases across Greece, and 351 of those are male, 170 of those are female. Average age of those people in critical condition is over the age of 70 and having underlying health issues, of which 86% are in that position. Right. More COVID news for you. Another story that appeared in the Greek national press was that a 5-year-old baby in Athens has become the youngest COVID patient to be hospitalised in Greece. The baby is being treated in an incubator due to breathing difficulties, but the infant's condition is said to be good. we'll keep an eye on that as well. Once again, if you may remember, there was a 34-day-old baby that was reported the other day that was also in hospital. So now it seems that children are being affected by the COVID as well, and even newborns are being affected as well. Anyway, this news I was waiting quite late for last night. Further measures unto what's happening. So this literally is hot off the press this morning. There's further measures, including the extension of the lockdown in Attica, which were announced last night due to the continuing surge of infections and hospital admissions. The number of incubated patients in Greek hospitals passed 500, with 51 daily deaths recorded yesterday. The pressure is now on the health service. It is becoming unsustainable at the moment, especially in the Attica area, where the beds obviously are running very short. Now, private clinics have been seconded to take critical patients, and the third wave of the pandemic is also being fueled by more infectious virus mutations, i.e. the Kent and the Brazil, which is also creating a worse situation in the country. Now, last night, the Deputy Minister of Civil Protection Management, Nikos Hariadis, announced that schools will remain closed throughout Greece from Tuesday. The schools are closed at the moment because obviously they're getting ready for Clean Monday, and there's basically a long weekend ahead with Carnival and Clean Monday on Monday. But anyway, the schools are going to stay closed for live classes, as it were, from Tuesday, March the 16th, until March the 29th. And all lessons will now be done online rather than at school. Now, from next Monday, the same applies, or the same restrictions apply as they do at the moment. Mr. Haliadis said that any unnecessary local movements are not allowed. Now, the movement using your SMS code, which you have to text the number with SMS code 2 for shopping, and for number 3, which is to do business, which might be going to see your accountant or going to the police station to do your residency card, they will only be allowed if you are no more than 2 kilometers from your home, if you're in a built-up urban area. But within the municipality, you can still move about. But if you're deciding that you want to book out to go shopping, and you live like we do in Macardo, and decide that you're going to go shopping up in Ali Canaz, that is not going to wash with the local authorities. All right, you would get away with booking out from here to go to the Lidl or even to the Express Market on the Gitani Road, but it will not wash that you make very long journeys to go and do shopping. The police will have you for that one. So anyway, so be aware of that. Also as well, just to remind you that SMS code 6, which is for exercise, all exercise has to be on foot or on bicycle and has to be around your local area. Okay, you cannot drive down to the beach and decide that you're going to take your bicycle or go for a walk on the beach. You must only do that exercise from your local area. And I had to sort of have a little dry smile at this. Mr. Hariadis asked about kite flying, which is a big thing here in Greece on Clean Monday. And he said, and it just reminded me of, what's his name? The Irish politician, what's his name? It'll come to me. He said that kites will be flown near the houses on Monday. So again, if you want to go kite flying, there's no going down to the beach to go kite flying. You must fly your kite from your house. And again, that's a big thing here in Greece. Let's go fly a kite. All right, so that's it. More restrictions in place, stricter restrictions at the moment because of what things going on. And as for the traffic ban, the curfew at night, what is in place now for us here, the 9 p.m. till 5 o'clock in the morning, that still stands. There's no change to that. Other areas have stricter curfew ban, depending on what shade of red they're in, where they have a ban from until 5 o'clock in the morning, all right? But we are not affected by any increase of a traffic ban at the moment. Also as well, the Greek Prime Minister Mitsotakis proposed on Friday heavy reforms to the police, as accusations of heavy-handed police to quash street protests and government policies announced by police during checks for compliance with COVID-19 restrictions, and the subsequent clashes with protests had memories of the violence during the country's decade-long debt crisis. And I remember that in 2008, the and everything else. Didn't really see that here in Zakynthos. We were all too busy trying to keep jobs and working. We didn't want to go to the streets, but areas like Athens, they were. So again, obviously worries about how that escalated and got out of hand worried the local press. And that I seem to have lost you just there for a few seconds. Anyway, also as well, Greek authorities are investigating complaints of police violence, and one officer has been suspended during clashes on Tuesday, and another officer at the moment is serious. Anyway, the leader of the leftist party, Mr. Alex Tsipras, accused Mr. Takis, who's obviously a conservative, a Tory, of seeking a police state and of trying to divert attention from blatant failures to deal with the pandemic, and that many areas of Greece which are still in lockdown. He said, "We're visiting the young generation at universities in the morning and at parks in the evening." Tsipras said, "You have an audacity." I'm having some problems at the moment. I'm stopping and I have had a few little warnings, shall we say, from authorities, but I'm not going to go into that at the moment. Anyway, in response, I'll just go back to his comments, which were, "You're beating the young generation at universities in the morning and at parks in the evening." Tsipras also said, "You have the audacity to claim that protests are the reason for the course of the pandemic." In response, Mr. Takis condemned the beatings and accused Syriza of stirring up protests, saying the police brutality, saying that the police brutality was a global issue, and that Greece did not have a bad record in comparison to other countries. Anyway, Mr. Takis proposed that police officers carry body cameras, as well as improved training and psychometric tests for new police recruits. Anyway, protests often turn violent in Greece, which is emerging from the deep financial and social crisis that is long criticised by rights groups for heavy-handed police tactics. Anyway, the Ombudsman said this week complaints of the police brutality have been on the rise as the frustration has grown after a year of COVID-19 restrictions. And we've seen that right across the world. In Italy, we've seen that in the Netherlands. We've also seen it in the UK as well. More sinister than some of the tactics being used by the Greek government here. Anyway, some good news at the moment. Greece is laying out some beds. That's what the headline was, and the beach umbrellas as it prepares to reopen to tourists in May and resurrect an industry which has suffered one of its worst years in decades. The tourism minister, Haris Therakis, said, "All you need is Greece." That sounds like a Beatles lyric, doesn't it? All you need is Greece. As he was addressing the Berlin tourism fair again, that was being addressed from the Acropolis Museum. The tourism sector accounts for nearly about a fifth of Greece's economy as the COVID-19 vaccination programs get underway. As the vote, as the I've lost my place now. As the COVID-19 vaccination programs get underway around the world, Greece is relying on its record in handling the pandemic to draw foreign tourists back to its islands and to see its monuments. It has also led to calls from Europe to adopt the common digital pass, showing whether someone has been vaccinated to allow travel over the summer. Theorakis said Greece would open to visitors either way, it said. Theorakis told Reuters people who are vaccinated, have tested negative or recovered from the disease and have antibodies are welcome to Greece, and we will welcome them irrespective of any arrangements. One thing I've got to say on regard that is that for people who don't want the vaccine and would quite happily rely on tests, on COVID tests being carried out, I think COVID tests have got to be made cheaper than than what they already are, because I see this as a kind of a subtle way of getting people to have the vaccination by saying, well, if you want to pay out £200 every time you want to go somewhere, and if there's two of you, that's going to be 400 quid. And if you're a family of four, that's going to be 800 quid. I think that the cost of vaccinations should either be, the cost of actual tests should be free, and they should be like when you arrive, a cost that's factored in on your arrival in on your holiday. As you come in on your holiday, etc. And I don't think that the general public should have to actually pay out all the time, because again, this puts costs on your holiday away. And even though we might get cheap flights coming to Greece at the moment with Ryanair and also EasyJet and Jet2 and Wizz Air, I just feel that the cost of testing for those people who don't want the vaccination, it is a very sly way of getting people to go and have the vaccination. So anyway, moving on then, I think I'm just going to go to my and finally news as well. And my and finally news, which is, hang on a minute. This is a bit weird. I tell you what, I'm having 3 Greek superfoods, which have been used since ancient times to boost a healthy diet and also better defend your immune systems. Well, I've got 3 more for you today, and some of them you may have actually tried in the past. Now, one of them is from Chichos, all right? That's a northern Aegean island, and it's exclusively, it is a thing called mastic. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had mastic, but I think Jane did say that we had some kind of drink from our neighbours upstairs, which was basically made from mastic. From the mastic tree. Now, it's been proven that it can lower cholesterol while preventing stomach ulcers, and also it helps to alleviate Crohn's disease as well. It is also believed that it can also protect you from different types of cancer, but you must have the mastic from this Aegean island of Chichos, because that is the one with the magical powers, supposedly. And also another superfood. Now, the myth of the goddess Aphrodite, who managed to cure a fatal injury to her son, who was called Aeneas, by grabbing some what's called dittany, which is on the island of Crete, and it's indigenous to there. And it also, I think, gets a mention in Harry Potter as well. Medical research has proven that this special shrubbery, and it is a shrub, I had to look it up to see exactly what it is very good antimicrobial properties within it and antioxidants in it. In fact, dittany is the main ingredient in Cretan mountain tea and is known to be a folk cure for virtually everything, all right, from colds and coughs to gastroenteritis disorders and even for skin conditions as well. So try that as well. Also as well, figs as well. Now, we have figs where I live, and I've got to be honest, they're deadly. Eat those and you run into the toilet. But anyway, figs at the moment from Eva have an indisputable high nutritional rate, all right? Dried figs are also rich in natural fibre. They help in weight control, because once you eat them, you run into the toilet every 5 minutes. And they also help you give a feeling of satiety as well. Obviously, they help with your well-being of your mind. Figs also help, it says it helps regulate blood pressure, improves ligament health thanks to their high potassium content. They are also rich in magnesium, important for a healthy nervous system, for the metabolism, and also for bone health as well. So there you go. I'm going to, because for some reason I'm getting cut off nearly every few seconds at the moment. So thank you for all those people who have stuck with the broadcast. I do apologise. It's not in my control. It's out of my control. I'll just say a quick hello to Dave Gab Kitchen, also Sean Bowen, Scott Williams, Shane Bowen, Pat Sandobsit, Peter Dyer, David Matthews, Caris Hughes, Cliff Smith, Dave Matthews, Rosewood, etc. Peter Dyer, she says, good morning. Look, if looking to move over, Amanda, new forecast weather, very windy in my office and a bit windy outside. Bless you there, Peter. I'm going to cut it short there. I do apologise. I don't know why. I'm getting stifled at the moment. I did, as I said, I got a strike yesterday on YouTube. So I won't be broadcasting on YouTube my music show at the moment. I think I may have mentioned a couple who at the moment are at the centre of a lot of controversy in the UK. And I think you're not allowed to say anything about them in case it's misconstrued as hate speech. But anyway, I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to stay in the realms of the law. Thanks for tuning in. I'm quite interested to see how this is going to play back. It probably might not sound as bad when it's played back in one go. But thank you for tuning in. Just to remind you, my show from yesterday is up online on Mixcloud. Yeah, my show is up online on Mixcloud. Okay, no problems there with community strikes or copyright issues or anything of that nature. So you can go and check that show out as well. Also, don't forget I'm back on air on Beats Radio tomorrow at 5 o'clock UK time till 7 o'clock UK time with my Northern Soul show. Got the ice cream van or the soul cream van out and about, bringing you the best in Northern Soul. Anyway, you have a fantastic day, and I will see you later. Take care, stay safe, and I'll keep your ear to the ground. I'll find out what the gubbins is going on with my connections at the moment, and I'll speak to you again soon. Ta-ra.